Welcome back to the Winning Moment Show. I know this week we promised you our new Sports Center-like view. However, because it's spring break here in Section 1, there's not much sports going on, Coach.
No, most of the sports are taking place in the water, someplace south or in the Caribbean for the people in our area, celebrating Passover and Easter, and they're away this spring, and so I'm sure they're throwing the frisbee on the beach someplace perhaps, and enjoying the week off.
Right, which is a perfect time to launch this topic. Today's going to be an educational show. It's going to be all about the importance now and power of social media, NIL contracts, not just for the NCAA, but for high school. And considering these kids are having the time of their life now in some exotic island or beach somewhere, what they're posting on social media, which didn't matter when I was a child, considering they didn't have social media back then, thank God, but matters now. Matters now for a lot of reasons. Even if you're a senior and you've already committed somewhere, what you post is so important. And we're going to take this opportunity this week not to cover games, but to cover the change in sports, particularly high school sports, what's important for you to know as a parent, what's important for you to know as an athlete, and as a coach, what's really important for you to know, because it is so powerful. The opportunity has changed to give these kids the power to kind of dictate a little bit of where they can go. Can they make money? How does this work? And some of it's going to be good. And like Coach, when you give someone power, they can use it for good. They can use it for evil.
Absolutely.
Either way, the world has changed, and we have to change with it.
And the other reason we're doing this today is also to give our parents and our players in Section 1 a realistic view of what the landscape of college recruiting is and how very difficult it is to get to be a collegiate athlete, to be a student athlete at the collegiate level. It's really important that we give them what the reality of this landscape is currently. And we're here to help facilitate that. We're here to help parents navigate it, but we're going to be realistic. And there's a hard reality to what is currently going on within the college recruiting landscape and the current situation regarding eligibility and regarding the level of play that you can get to or not get to, or what the reality is for you coming out of high school to be a student athlete at the college level.
And listen, I think we're going to agree and disagree on a lot of points today because, as you know, my mindset is limitless, and I have zero experience of placing kids into a college.
Right.
Now, over the course of your career, and this hasn't even been your job, you've placed 110 kids in this area, approximately 110 kids, into a college.
Yes.
Not because you were asked, not because it was your job and you were doing it.
No.
You just naturally did it based on your 37 years of coaching, teaching, educating, and connections that you built.
Correct.
So let's start back 37 years ago.
Right.
Okay. If you wanted to place a kid in college, how was that process?
First of all, we had to assess whether they projected to play at the collegiate level. And if it was yes, then, okay, great. If it was maybe, we were very honest. Maybe this is what you need to do. You do these things, you got a shot to get there. And then sometimes it was no. I don't see it right now. Most of the time, if it was no, it stayed no. We all, I've always been able to be corrected, though. But maybes were mostly 50-50.
Yeah.
Yes was normally 90% that they were going to go to school.
All right, so after you got a yes, what'd you do? Did you send a letter in the mail to the coach?
No, so what I...
Because there were no cell phones back then.
So now we project them out to be at a certain level. And at that level, we attacked the schools that made sense from an academic standpoint. Were there going to be kids on campus of similar background and demographic? Excuse me. And then were they able to play basketball and be a part of that program? at that institution. And then could we get them at least a roster spot, have the college coach commit to giving them a roster spot for the upcoming fall as a freshman.
All right, I want to break that down a little bit. So you identify their skills. Okay, yes. Okay, John Lim, you can play college sports. Great. What level? You can play at Division II. Awesome. Okay, we want to make sure that the school has the right academic fit, so you had to research that. Then the cultural fit, so I fit in, okay, and I can move forward. And is there a roster spot? So how back then, okay, pre-social media, how did you identify that? Like literally, what did you do to find that out?
GPA and SAT.
Yeah.
For academics. Then let them go take the campus visit.
But did you identify the school by just using Google?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, yes, absolutely. Yes. Or the school before the phone and before social media, you went by word of mouth. You went by word of mouth. Okay. Is this the right school for your child? And if the reputation was yes for that particular child and that particular family, then you went in that direction. Prior to being able to look it up on the computer or whatever.
Yeah, because right now we can build a profile, the same profile you just mentioned. We can build that profile out. Yep. We can put it into Chat GPT or a Claude or Google, any of the LLMs, and in seconds it'll identify 10 schools that we should approach.
Right.
So the level of research that has to be done today is, if it took you a day to do it, it takes us now less than a minute to get those results. So that's a huge time saver for
So imagine
parents.
Back in the day before, there'd be a list of 20 schools for one kid. And we go down that list. Yes, can you play here? Yes, does it? Yeah, yes, academically is a fit. Yes. Yes, like kids on campus that you because you got to live with the kids on campus.
Right.
And then, yes, is it basketball? And if it was yes, we kept the school on that list of 20. If the 20 schools, not all 20 schools were 3 for 3 on the list, then we etched them out. And we normally ended up with 7 or 8, maybe 9, 10 schools. And then I went and I would make those calls.
Why not? Okay, so now we have 7 schools that I could play for. You've identified those, so 3 out of 3. My parents agree to those there. Then you're calling the coach.
Yes,
Why
absolutely.
am I not calling the coach back then?
Because my job, if you played either with me for high school or AAU, my job was to make sure that I used my reputation for assessing and evaluating players to the player and the parents' benefit.
Okay, so you represented me because you know coach language.
Correct.
So back then, the idea was, hey, coach knows coach language, so let the coach speak for you.
Yes.
Because I'm just a high school kid, and I might say something wrong in that scenario.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I handled all the recruitment. And I even handled the recruitment upon the development and of social media and Google and all that. I handled that recruitment that way as well. Now, obviously, as we moved on technologically, I was able to send film. They could come. They were then when we traveled, like you travel with us.
Yep.
The college coaches, we tell, are you going to be at Spooky Nook live period that last weekend in April? Yes, coach. I'll come down and watch so and so play.
So I want to take a step back now. Now, okay, we got coach to coach language, and you're on my side of the table, representing me as a high school kid.
Correct.
On the other side of the table, as the college coach that you talk to, right? What is the college coach looking at when they're talking to you about me? And let's fast forward to the fact that there is videos. There are highlights you can send. He has the highlights. You mail it to him. Now you're on the phone with him. What is he asking you about me in that interview to see if I'm a good fit, even though he knows I'm a good basketball player because he agreed to talk to you? Now, how does that interview process or that conversation go?
It goes like this. What kind of human being is your player off the floor? Will he represent the school community and the community, the town or the city, wherever it is? Is he going to act properly and be a good person and be a good role model and a good example for our program, represent our program in the right manner? What's the parent dynamic? How are the parents? Are they going to get involved or try to interfere with? Am I going to get a phone call from parents about playing time or why my son's not in a certain situation or whatever? That's second, normally in college. Then it gets to then it gets to academics. Can they do that? Yeah, of course. That's why we called you to begin with. Then it comes to basketball. So parents need to understand this. It's about your kid first, what kind of human being your kid is.
Yep.
How you are as parents. And then it comes down to basketball. And with basketball, it comes down to, do they project to play at their specific position at our level? Can they guard? Not off. It has never. Normally, it's not anything about offense because I'm calling because they already can score the ball.
Right.
I'm calling because they already are skilled. Are they? Can they guard at position? At the position they project at the college level, and then, are they going to be physical enough, strong enough, tough enough to compete every day? Grind it out. Do they grind it out? Do they embrace the process of the grind?
So I love this, and we're going to take it more than just basketball.
And by the way, and here's the thing for the parents that need to understand this. Basketball is the easy part in college. The hard part is the conditioning, with the weight training, with the stretching, with the yoga, with everything else. That's the grind. That's the grind. The basketball is the easy part. Do they embrace that grind? And can they do it day in and day out?
I love that you use the word grind because
that's what it is.
It is. Today, the grind goes beyond the gym, the workout, the sports you want to play. It goes beyond the field. And that's part of what, listen, that's all we're going to talk about today is the grind and the important side. So you said something about coach and coach language. You guys are trusting each other because you're both coaches.
Correct.
Well, today, there is no more trust versus coaches in that scenario that's needed because what a coach does, I found some interesting stats. So right now, what a coach does is they're scrolling through your social media, right? So the coach will scroll 90 seconds on your social media before watching any film about you. Going to your point that, hey, if you're a good athlete, lacrosse, baseball, basketball, tennis, now flag football, whatever, they already know you're a good athlete. They know you can play on the field. So the question is do you fit their program? Let me see what you're doing on social media. 73% of coaches check social media
absolutely
before calling or receiving a call from anyone. Now, it's so important, which it never was this way before. I would have been keep the kids off social media. When they're playing the game or after the game, keep them focused on their stuff and keep them off social media. Keep them off their phones. As a student athlete today, though, you need to at least be set up on your phone. Your profile has to look right, the same as your dress has to look right. Okay? So there's a, and we'll put all this inside of on the website and the YouTube links below. But there's a certain way that your profile needs to be set up. So when you look at the profile, it has the name, what your handle is, and your handle should be your name. Your name might not be available. Like John Lim's a very, very popular name. Okay, I have to compete with billionaires and Nobel Peace Prize winners and some doctors. Yep. Okay, there's a lot much more well-accomplished and smarter John Lims out there than me. All right? None of them, though, get to sit here today in the studio next to Coach Ward.
And we get to talk about this topic, correct.
I'm the most blessed John Lim out there in that scenario. But now you got things like what position you play, what class you have, where are you from, your GPA should be on there, right? What AAU you play for. So there's so many things, little things that make such the big difference because today – coaches are not talking to coaches, and not for nothing. We have so much noise, right? We haven't even gotten to the NIL side of the story, just the social media side. We have so much noise on social media and so much noise out there that you have to represent correctly. Now, I want to dial it all back, okay, to a story you told me, because when we talked about coach talks to coach in the process,
Right.
you told me a story about your conversation to get yourself a job, to get interviewed, right, to go learn behind a world famous basketball coach by the name of Bob Hurley.
Senior, Bob
Okay?
Hurley Senior.
Bob Hurley Senior. Well, I guess it's the original Bob Hurley. The junior goes from there. Right,
he's
right.
the
OG Bob Hurley.
He's the OG, absolutely.
Whose son right now is has to be ecstatic with that bonehead play that happened.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to talk about it because you fired up yet,
no,
okay?
Yeah,
all right?
absolutely.
Okay. How in the world did you reach Bob Hurley? Tell the audience the story about how you reached Bob Hurley and why you wanted to reach Bob Hurley.
I wanted to be the best coach I could be. I was coaching JV basketball in New Jersey, and the late Rich Wainert, who's a legendary coach in Bergen County, knew Mr. Hurley because his brother, who also passed away, Rich Wainert, had played for St. Anthony's in Jersey City. And when I was in high school, they had talked about me going to St. Anthony's as a sophomore down there at Jersey City. But I moved back to South Carolina. Anyway, I wanted to learn how to coach. And I had a great coach at Gerald Acreage, who's a legend at Englewood, but I'm 15, 20 minutes from St. Anthony's. So I had Mr. Wainert reach out and ask if it was, Mr. Wainert reached out to Bob Hurley about the possibility of me coming down there to watch him have practice. This is in 1989. I'm 25 years of age. And he said, okay, but I have to talk to him first. So I went in the Yellow Pages. That's a big old book that had
Yellow Pages.
That had residential.
Literally had Yellow Pages.
Yellow Pages,
Yeah.
and he was a probation officer for Hudson County. That was his full-time job. He retired. He was there for 30-something years, I think. And so I called him up and I said, I want to come down and watch you practice. And he said, this was our practice times. And at that point, I went down to watch him practice, and it coincided with the fact that it was the first time that they won the national championship. It was 1989. Bob Hurley Jr., who had just had a great run at Arizona State, great 10-year run at Arizona State, was a senior. Dan Hurley was a sophomore. Roderick Rhodes, first-round draft pick, was a sophomore. Jerry Walker, senior, Seton Hall. I mean, it was...
What a team.
Yeah, Jose
What a
Ortiz, who led New Jersey City University to the Final Four Division III. And I'm blanking out on a couple. But I went down there, I watched him coach. He never said a word to me, just nodded his head. And I watched him coach and structure practice. So between what I got from Bob Hurley Sr. and what I got from Gerald Acreage, it allowed me to really move forward in my coaching career and have a better understanding at 25 years of age.
Right.
And I
So
had an
you're-
experience that nobody else had.
You're a wannabe coach at this point.
Right.
Okay. So therefore, you reach out to the best coaches you know, right? So you can learn how to coach underneath them.
There's three guys there are three guys in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame at the high school level. Morgan Wooten, DeMatha, Coach Bob Hurley Sr., St. Anthony's, Jersey City, New Jersey. I think the other one's out west.
Now, the beauty back then was to have the Yellow Pages. You can actually find almost every human in America.
Absolutely.
Okay? Today, there is no way to get direct line to an actual coach when it comes to their phone number or maybe their email address or that case. A lot of ways to find it. However, there was a direct line, okay, direct message, DM, to that coach or the team on social media.
Right.
So now these kids, just like you, who want to be college athletes, you wanted to be a coach, you went there. These kids want to be the best athletes they can be, maybe have a future out of it, maybe just get a education.
And have a great, and get another
Have a great
chance to play
experience.
at
Right.
the collegiate level and have that experience, because we're going to talk about the percentages later.
And it's not all about the money.
No.
It's not all about the money, right? So now you have that, they can reach out. Now the difference is when you reached out on the phone, made that phone call, no one saw anything. Coach didn't know. Were you wearing your uniform?
No.
Were you a shirt and tie? What you look like?
He
Nothing.
didn't. He'd never seen me until I
He
walked
knows
in the
nothing.
gym.
He just knows how you're representing yourself with the voice and
Correct.
conversation, which, by the way, is super important. We should have student-athlete public speaking courses. I love when we had our interns here, speaking here on the show, doing sports media or media in general, just learning how to talk to people, I think is something we've lost, and schools should represent
Agreed.
that. And who knows? Maybe we have a seminar, okay, to do that with.
Interpersonal communication.
Yes, because you're great at it. Okay, our other co-host who's enjoying Yankee opening day today with his lovely wife on this Friday. Okay, it's Friday when we film this. Remember, Sunday we launch, or Friday we film.
Yankees opening day
Opening
today.
day is joining right now.
First pitch 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
1:05. Yep.
So, but imagine learning from him how to speak and be a reporter.
The depth of knowledge and information and resource that he provides, Kevin Devaney Jr. provides, would be astoundingly beneficial to every person that he makes contact with regard to helping understand social media, multimedia, any form of media. It would be.
I mean, listen, you think about what I love about the three of us, okay, and our fourth man, okay, like a 6-man award, our fourth man that people don't see unless they see us live in person, is that all the people you've spoken to, all the kids you connect with, all that Kevin has done, right? The largest crowd that I've ever spoken in front of is 3-ish or so thousand people. Matter of fact, my bald moment, okay, every bald man has a bald moment. Okay, my bald moment came when I was doing a public speaking gig, and to the left and to the right, there were the 100-foot screens that you have, okay? And although I had hair, if you looked at me, the HD from the screens made it seem like I had no hair, okay? Because it went right through the thinning of my hair. And as soon as my team showed me a picture, I was like, I'm not that bald. What are you guys talking about? Very soon after that, I shaved my head. But the point is, all of that beautiful being able to speak the way you did, kids need to learn how to do it today. But now when you think about social media and the DM, as soon as I DM a coach, they get to see my presence. They get to see how I set up my profile, how I look, what I'm doing on social media, what I'm putting out there, okay? Not just my highlights of my basketball skills or my lacrosse skills, like you said.
They're not even looking at that first.
Yes.
Here's what they're looking at. And this will get you unrecruited faster than anything else. They go through your profile, and there's stuff on there where you've got a red Solo cup in your hand.
Red Solo cups.
Where you are perhaps enjoying life a little bit more than you're posting what you're enjoying your life probably a little bit more than you should on social media, and putting yourself in a position where you can be questioned about your character as a prospective student athlete for that institution. You're done. You're done. It's next. I'm saying it now.
I completely agree
next.
with you. I completely agree.
So don't have a red Solo cup in your hand.
Don't even be around a red Solo cup.
Correct.
It doesn't have to be in
They
your hand.
don't have to be in your hand. If you're around people and there's 4 of them with a red Solo cup and you don't have a red Solo cup in your hand, that's not going to cut it.
Guilty by association.
Correct.
Right.
You go to a concert. Take the picture of you going to the concert and enjoying the concert. That's fine. But acting crazy at the concert in the mosh pit and having people video you in the mosh pit in the concert.
Have your private moments. Have your private
moments.
Right.
Your private moments are your private moments.
Yes.
Don't put your private moments on here, because if a college coach sees that, you're done. Because here's a phrase now that makes more sense than ever before. And coaches are getting fired left and right for this. A coach can get fired for a lack of institutional control over their program. Translation is this. I can't control the kids in my program. I let them do whatever they want, whenever they want to do it. They're not representative of the school. They're always in trouble. They're not going to class. They're not doing whatever. And guess what? They're not adhering to the policies of the athletic department or the school itself. He's getting fired.
And they find all of that out on social media, by the way.
Correct.
They don't need investigators anymore. You're putting it out there. And I also want to say, like, this is not just about student athletes. Because if you're not a student athlete, what do you think your employer is going to look at? Right? It is so important now for these young kids who are growing up now, growing up at the start of social media from their high school side, have it. You need to represent yourself incredibly well. According to here, we're going to go with, we're going to use Claude as our LLM today, all right, our large language model, okay, otherwise known as AI. But according to this, the content mix for an athlete in high school, 40% should be athletic content, highlights, training, game day. 25% personality content. Who are you off the field? What are your interests? What's your family like? What are you doing from volunteering and things like that? 20% is your journey content. Okay, the process, not just the results. Your early morning workouts. Maybe it's your protein shakes. Maybe it's what you do before school. Okay, yeah. How you're grinding through losing streaks. All right, how this builds a loyal audience with other people. 10% community content. Give back, mentoring, in school. What do you do for others that are not just for yourself and being so selfish? And then 5% of strategic engagement. Recruiting signals. Repost the school's highlights. Like and comment on a coach post. That 5% is what some of the athletes that we've talked to that have been on the show, like Kendall, that 5% is what they do on their reach out. Okay, if you know you want to go to these 5 schools, start liking their posts. Start engaging with them. Start asking questions to the coach. Hey, how'd you pull this off? Or how'd you handle this? Because now they know that you care about them and their school
Correct.
as much as you care about yourself. This mix is not a difficult thing to do.
No.
Just, I feel that the majority of kids, we got to speak to hundreds of kids throughout this launch of the Winning Moments. I might know 2 kids that even know this formula exists, and maybe 1 kid who follows this formula. Okay? It's so important. And I think even if you're a parent right now watching this, or a kid saying, you know what, I'm a freshman, or I'm a sophomore, or I'm whatever, and I'm not going to play college ball. If you're going to play sports, then put yourself out there. 1, don't think that you're not going to do something, because anything's possible.
Correct.
Number 2, make it and align it beautifully, just like you would do your uniform, because if you end up not playing college sports, you still are going to end up going to college, maybe, or end up with a job. Hopefully, they're going to look at this.
I've got so I'm going to go away from athletics for 1 second. This is a great story. There's a young man that had been in our program forever named Michael Wagner. Michael Wagner went to Fordham Prep. Michael Wagner tells a story of his friend who was a brilliant student in college. Went and did every internship. He was brilliant, financial, just a genius financially. Had all the internships with all the major corporation financial. I don't know. Name a couple. Give me somebody.
Goldman Sachs.
Yeah,
Morgan
like
Stanley.
in that Morgan Stanley. All that. Okay. The kid was going to. All he had was a formality interview with one of those institutions. They were going to start him out of college at $150,000 a year.
What year is this?
This was only 6 years ago.
Okay, that's like getting $250,000 right now out of college, the equivalent of the money.
He takes this phone and he puts something on his personal social page, on his his general, like the public, what's it called? The public.
Yeah, you can have a private or public page. Yeah.
On his public page.
Yeah. Which it's all public, by the way.
That was beyond inappropriate. Beyond. At a scale like, what are you doing? What happened next? He walks into the formality interview. They hold up the phone. Is this you? Yes, it is. Gone. done. The $150,000 job, $150,000 a year job out the door. Guess what else?
Because he would have probably made $1 million and change in his first, second year, because that's what those kind of jobs do. So it's
Correct.
It's $1 million contract.
It gets better. No, he's not in New York City now. He works for a financial institution in Delaware.
He leaves the Mecca of financial institutions, the Rome of this
and had
case,
to go to like a small boutique firm because no one in New York would touch him. And he still has not recovered from that moment where he put that on his phone. I
think if you related to sports, for everyone that's listening, it's like you're about to go pro, first round draft pick in whatever sports you're going to.
Absolutely.
And now all of a sudden you are down to coaching 8th grade AAU. That's the downgrade we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Okay? Like you're not even in high school, you're below high school. 8th grade AAU is what you got to rebuild yourself, because New York Financial is the basically the first round draft pick of any pro sport that you could think of.
Imagine.
That's there.
He had it made.
Yeah.
Was going to, probably by 42, he was going to retire. He'd do 20 years in New York financial industry, in the market, whatever, and then he'd be done by 42, 45. Have millions of dollars and do whatever he wanted the rest of his life. Not the case now.
But Anderson also coached, right?
My point is that this is more than just being a student athlete. This can affect your life. And I'm going to say this. My 22-year-old son has, I know it's not a lot of followers, but he's got 3,000 followers.
That's a lot.
And I tell him all the time, you're 22, I get it. But still, you've got professional, because you're overseas, you've got professional coaches looking at your social media. You got young people who follow you, 1,000 to 1,500, 2,000 of them, probably young kids from our area that come to our camp. You've got to maintain a certain social presence as well. And I'm on my own son about this. That's how strongly I am with, and my daughter, same thing. As parents, we've got to make sure that our kids that they think before they post, that they take a breath and don't do something impulsive that could create a situation that would permanently damage their opportunities in life.
Now, listen, I agree with you. As a parent, it's our responsibility to teach them right or wrong, teach them what to do not to harm themselves, and protect them in a way that sets them up for a great life. But I'm talking about not doing something stupid, because that's a level of parenting that needs to happen, right? Or posting it. I'm talking about just simply the basics, just setting it up. Like right now, right. And we'll put the examples of the profiles that we build out for kids. But right now, I think what should be happening, what coaches should be teaching from AAU to high school, what athletic directors could be putting together, what schools could be doing, is a curriculum that has, hey, here's what your profile should look like. Before you post a thing, here's your profile to look like, right? Here's how you set it up, and we'll help you set it up. Right? We'll give this information away for free on our side. We'll show you how to set it up.
I think it's brilliant.
But it should be this way. And educate this. Like, listen, Instagram is a must-have, right?
Right.
For any student athlete. It's your coach's number one platform for your digital resume. You know what number 2 is?
No.
2 is not something that young kids use often. Okay, young kids go next to TikTok. Number 2, must-have, where coaches are there the most, and athletes talk publicly, is X, formerly known as Twitter. You never would have guessed X in that scenario, but X is so important.
There's so many coaches on
reasons.
X.
Exactly.
Their coaches are all over X.
That's where they live.
Yeah. I live on X with regard to coaching.
So you need to make sure that you're the proper profile set up for Instagram and then X, because they're two completely different experiences.
They are. They are.
Two different
The
experiences.
X for me is my coach's clinic. I don't get a chance to go to coaches' clinics. So if Fred Hoiberg has an after timeout play that I really, really like, normally it's posted on X. So guess what? I take Fred Hoiberg's after timeout play, and I'm going to use it in our system because it fits our personnel. We can run that particular set.
I like how you're getting your sets and plays off X.
I mean, but you have to tailor it for who your personnel. Not everybody can run that. There's some things that I see online I love, like John Calipari runs a lob play for a dunk. I don't have anybody that dunks, and we ain't gonna run no lob play. So, and that's great. But if you do, you've got that.
Right.
So like X is a really, really important thing for our kids to have, because the coaches and be able to post on X, because coaches are all over X.
Now, think about posting on X is you need to know how to speak, because X is more about writing plus video, where Instagram is more about video and very little writing. So you have to be able to handle that. And I think I can't stress, if you're a parent or you're an athlete or you're a student, the coaches that I've met that want to build these kids and not just win the game or that case, the ones who build the winning moments off the field and gym and so forth, and it's basically every coach I've got to meet this season. There are ways that you should help these kids set it up. And again, we'll help you.
I think
but
it's
so
brilliant.
important to me.
I don't understand. And listen, because I don't think in that realm. I'm getting towards the end of this, so I don't think in that realm.
Coach, we got another 20 minutes left of the show. The end of what? What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about no. But I think it's great because there's no format. Like when a kid walks into your gym, walks into your school as a 9th grader, and he's a prospective student athlete, you should take him through there should be a social media seminar. There should be a social media sit down with prospective parents and kids together to structure the social media content.
And we'll set up your profile right there on the spot.
I think
it's 1 hour.
I think it's brilliant. I think it should be required. Mandated, required, whatever term you want to use, across the board. Not only Section 1, but nationally.
There should be teams, everyone.
Everybody.
Everyone. It's a big topic. It's a big topic for me because, I understand the industry. I understand the social media aspect. I understand the marketing. I understand that perception is reality.
Yeah.
Obviously, we everything that we're building at the Winning Moments is to help these kids. We have our fundraising platform, so we can raise more money for them. We have our interactive swag, so they can relive the moments. And to me, this how to communicate in general is very important, and it's another way for us to give back.
Correct.
How to present yourself on social media, which again, when my son started 4 years ago, it didn't matter.
No, it didn't.
Because
within the last 4 years, it has changed exponentially.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about why it's changed. So what's happened since 2021, right? Since 2021, which is right at the tail, or we're in the middle or tail, depending on what time of 2021 we're talking about, we're in the tail of the middle of COVID.
Right.
Okay? So now everybody's home, all right, doing their thing. And what's happening? The business world starts to change of sports. NIL is introduced in 2021 for college. Right. Okay? So now these kids can get paid.
But let's cut one real quick. Let me interject this. NIL at that time is not what NIL is now.
Nope.
So NIL at that time was your jersey,
name, image,
and likeness. You could get paid for.
Yep.
Nothing else.
Correct.
So if you put your face on the front of a McDonald's, you got paid for that. Bookstore sold your jersey, you got paid for that. Your likeness, whatever, a silhouette of you at the gym, or or at wherever the place that you're gonna do your public, where you go, a public, public, what's it called?
To go work out?
No, like public appearance.
Public appearance.
Your likeness for your public appearance, you got paid for that.
You show up at the coffee shop.
Correct.
Yeah. Correct. And everything else was a violation, and you could actually, back then, you could lose your scholarship real quick, which then kills your name, image, likeness.
Correct.
Because you need the institution like everyone else.
Absolutely.
Right? Offensive linemen, okay, in football, you don't see their face in football. Okay? So no. they don't get many of the deals. Now, with their social media presence and so forth, they become more popular. All right, because now, unlike basketball, where they're playing and you see them, you can see their face.
Right.
When you see them on the street, you know it's that person. It's hard to know the offensive lineman for the New York Giants. We see him on the street back then because there was no name, image, likeness to put out there. So 2021, we got the NCAA says, okay, these kids can start making money. We're going to regulate it and control it, but they can start making money with their name, image, likeness.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Then you have the explosion of the transfer portal. Okay.
Pandora's box.
Explosion of that case. And the transfer portal and the explosion of that also then opened it up to now, across all sports, virtually all sports, you could have professional athletes. So if you played pro ball in Europe, you can now come back to college. If you played pro ball in America, okay, we talked about that on one of the shows, in the basketball sector at least, in the G League, you can go back to college, right? As long as you have your eligibility.
They struck Bediako down from Alabama. They struck somebody else down the other day. So the jury's out. Right now, technically you could.
Yep.
But the last two court cases have stated otherwise.
Right.
But until they get to the United States Supreme Court, then this is going to keep going on and on.
Correct. Okay. And just like time moves, every minute of the day moves, money still moves, and you have that case. So now they changed, right, college sports, which made the high school sports and the recruiting, which basically for a high school kid to get paid, when we were kids, for us to consider to be the first level I always said of professional athletes is that I come out of high school and some college gave me a scholarship. So they paid me to be there. That's my first level of getting paid for my athletic ability in that scenario.
Right.
Okay, great. Now, 45 states, okay, plus DC, permits NIL for high school kids. Okay, the only states right now that it's banned in Alabama, it's banned in Hawaii, it's very limited in Arkansas, banned in Michigan, banned in Indiana, banned in Mississippi. In Texas, you got to be 17 years and older.
You have to be senior.
Okay.
Yep.
South Carolina, if you are, and they just changed it in 2025, but if you were, it was banned in public schools. They brought it back in 2025.
Right.
They actually have NIL clubs in public schools. And if you're in the private school, you could have NIL as long as it wasn't associated with the school itself.
Correct.
Okay?
South Carolina is a very unique situation.
Well, considering they gave us you, they are a very unique situation.
Yeah.
You're a very unique, unique person, Coach.
There
okay,
you go. So
there's something down there in the water there.
But I want to comment on Alabama and Arkansas and Michigan and Indiana and Mississippi. Okay, with regard to Alabama, Mississippi, and Arkansas and Michigan, because those places are such football-oriented places, it would be chaos. And in Hawaii too. Hawaii, people don't understand how good Hawaii football is in Hawaii. It would be chaos and corruption in those states regarding kids moving from one school to the other. And it would create a real problem because people down south in the deep south and in Hawaii treat their high school football very seriously, to the point
Friday Night Lights.
to the point where the state of Hawaii's state playoff games outdraw the University of Hawaii football team, not by a little, by a lot. Where the stadium in Honolulu, the old stadium they played in, would draw 45,000 to 50,000 for the high school football game between, let's say, St. Louis out of Honolulu versus Kamehameha, the public school. It's so this place. I understand why they ban it in those places, because down south for Indiana.
Hold on, Coach, because you bring up a very, very good point. Let me tell you which sports right now dominate NIL when it comes to this. Football, quarterbacks. Particularly quarterbacks, okay, is number one. Men's basketball, number two. Rising extremely fast and in popularity, the fastest rising one is women's basketball. Then football is skill positions, right? So your wide receivers, your running backs, those skill positions. Then Then, I couldn't even believe this was on the list. All right, here's my ignorance. Then gymnastics. Okay, gymnastics before baseball, which is growing. Track and field, growing. Soccer and volleyball. Okay, soccer and volleyball is both niche and rising extremely fast.
So gymnastics I can speak on because the Southeastern Conference is the strongest gymnastics conference in the country. And if you go to a gymnastics meet, I know. See, this is where everybody starts to. I told you I watch it. I watch every sport. And you go to Athens, Georgia on a Friday night, and they're going up against LSU, or LSU's going up against Alabama. They can't stand each other in gymnastics. There's 20,000 people in the arena. 20,000. Okay. Like it's an Olympic, like it's the Olympics.
And coach,
and that's why the money's there.
Right. So when 20,000 people during that competition, they're selling food. They're selling
T-shirts,
swag.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a huge moneymaker.
Apparel, concessions, apparel, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
And normally it's a 2-day event. So forget about it. I mean, it's chaos and gymnastics at the NCAA level. Not only that, on the men's side too,
Yeah.
Division I men and Division I women, the place is packed.
So how do you feel about high school kids being able to get paid for their name, image, likeness? Coach he had to reach up to the Lord up above to get the mercy and the patience. Come on, Coach, unload. High school kids.
My issue with the high school kids is who's involved with them. Is it just the parents? Is it the street agent, the manager? Who's involved, and then where's the money going to go? I don't mind a kid getting paid. I prefer that it goes to a trust. If they're going to get paid, put in a trust. They can't touch it till they're 22. Or if they're in a financially dire strait, their family's really in bad situation, because a lot of times that's the case.
Yeah.
Then they can take X amount for themselves to help their families. Put that rest away someplace where they have it later on and build on it where they're going to be okay. Listen,
should it be the coach that's involved in it? Should the school have a staff that's taking care of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the coach and the AD should be involved in it. Absolutely, I think.
But doesn't that already show? Listen, we know that.
I think most
favoritism. There's a lot of favoritism in all aspects of sports.
So I will speak on this personally. My college roommate Lee Sarter, head coach at Spartanburg Day Academy. Spartanburg Day School, coached a guy named Zion Williamson.
Famous for breaking his shoe.
My college roommate, who I'm very close to this day,
yeah.
Who just took his team High Point Academy to 2 back-to-back AA state championships. He didn't win them, but he's been to the finals twice. Brand new school out of Spartanburg. Coached Zion in high school. We all know, and this is before 2021, we all know that Zion, and Lee never said this, so Coach, I'm telling you this now, Coach, because he watches the show. Coach never got involved in this. It was handled by Zion's stepfather, who was basically his father, raised him, Mr. Anderson, and he handled all that. My roommate should have handled it, because now if it was now, he would handle it.
Yep.
Because my roommate didn't take a dime from a soul, and he was offered 6 figures by certain institutions in this country prior to NIL. Didn't take a dime
to have Zion go play for them.
Correct. And he was offered well into 6
I could
figures.
imagine. I mean, Zion high school
was ridiculous. So would I like for a kid now to have somebody like a Lee Sarter handle the NIL for the family, and because I know that it's going to be done the right way? Absolutely. But here's the thing. Sometimes the coaches aren't always like Lee Sarter. Sometimes the ADs aren't always like ADs that are above board like Chris Drasopoulos at Briarcliff. So you got to be careful. Normally they are.
Slope. It's a dangerous slope.
Normally they are. Normally they are. I like to see it go through the high school program and the administration, sure. And then the parents. Nobody else should be involved.
Right.
Unless it's a special circumstance.
And listen, those are on the very large deals, right? I mean, listen, there's only a handful of Zions, okay, that exist on an annual basis.
Yeah, and that's the reality of the situation. But everybody thinks that, you know, if you go to a big school and you've done well at a big school, they say, well, if he did well at this school, at a big school, my son's just, it doesn't work like that. Every situation is different.
But let's go with the smaller side. Listen, for your child in Westchester County, because it's a little different in New York. So minimum wage in New York State is $16 an hour. In Westchester, New York City, and a few other places, it's $17 an hour. Okay, you hire kids for your summer camp at Chris Ward Basketball, Westchester's #1 basketball camp. My opinion is New York State's #1 basketball camp, but I'll limit it to Westchester for now. Basketball camp, okay, that all my kids have gone to and learned a lot from, not just basketball. But you employ the kids, $17 an hour, you have to pay them, okay? The reason that social media is so important and these NIL conversations are so important are not for the bigger kids, to your point, where the street hustles are coming on and everybody wants a piece of that.
Correct.
But also for local businesses who can't afford huge corporate deals. We're not talking about Nike and Adidas and so forth.
Right.
But there are local businesses like a deli who gives the A&S Deli in Portchester, which I love, gives Blindbrook money when the teams are raising money for the banner that's up there to support that local business. And I'm not sure what it costs, maybe $500 for the season or wherever they donate. Right. Now, that scenario can really help a local business. So when you think about some kids that if their social media, which needs to reach, I think, approximately a minimum of 500 followers, if the kids were allowed to post, I get my sandwich pregame at A&S Deli, okay, and these kids can receive a job like minimum wage. If there was a structure that aligned up that for them, it'd be great if a kid can receive a couple of $100 for the entire season to build these posts out. It's not just great for the kid who's making his $17 an hour scenario. It's not just great for the local business who can now get a larger reach than the limited banner that's on the fence that is just awareness for one day a week when there's a game. So I think there's a positive opportunity if structured correctly, if taught correctly, if set up correctly, where you can maybe it's a portal. Maybe it's a portal where you have that people can come into and say, hey, what's the opportunities? My team has 10 kids. We have approximately 7,000 followers, okay? And my team would love to help the local business do the following. And these kids, whether it's credit, whether it's getting paid free food or $17 an hour, they have to work for it. It's not a give me. They have to make the right post. And here's how to follow it. They're basically building a commercial and leveraging their audience to do so. So I think NIL, which always gets talked about the bigger ones, right? Your Zions and so forth, and $1 million and six-figure contracts. I think there's a 3-figure contract. There's a 4-figure contract.
I agree.
That would be so beneficial for these kids.
So there are kids right now in Division III that have gone out and done that. And Division III student athletes that have gone out to businesses or they use a certain product and they're well known in the community and they're in the college. Listen, what if Henry Shoemaker and Carson Miller at Rye,
Shoemiller, as we have them,
if those two kids wanted to post whatever the big places that they go to in Rye for their set, because there's a lot of places in Rye, right? A lot of restaurants, a lot of delis, whatever.
Yep.
If they went out and did that, they get paid. They get paid. Anthony Ficarata in Dobbs Ferry, okay? Kendall Konisberg in Rybrook.
Yep.
I mean, there's opportunity for them to do that, and could really market themselves that way. And that starts in high school, and then they move on to college, and then you parlay that. So
I agree.
I think that's starting to happen. I think it's a great way to go. I think it's the way that you should go, and that's how you monetize your situation.
Yep. Yeah, and listen, and again, it's about education. It's not about getting lost in the fact that I'm 1,000-point scorer and
Correct.
you should give me $1,000 or $2,000. No. Everything in life is about value. When you can take a job, when I go work at your camp, I'm providing a value to you of me being there.
Correct.
And you're appreciating that value by giving me money. Okay, that's how you can reciprocate the value in the business side. And we have an equal exchange. I show up on time. I do my job. I do it well.
Right.
Great. And no problem. So I'm not looking at it where it's like a free lunch for these kids.
No.
I'm looking at it like, hey, what if we set up a system where they can have this opportunity? Look, learn how to speak. Learn how to put yourself out there. Learn how to have your proper social media presence, not just for recruiting, but for the ability to have a part-time job while in high school, okay? And also, you're helping local businesses out. It's not just about the kids. There are so many local businesses that can use the help of all the people. High school is a community. It was interesting. We
Sure.
have inside of our studio, there's another podcast studio that we have, and we have guests coming and people doing all different things. And yesterday, a woman came in, and she was talking about, where she's from. And she currently lives in Rye, okay? So Claudio, our executive producer, is a very strong, well-known athlete from Harrison. Harrison and Rye, oil and vinegar,
Yes, absolutely.
rivals, right?
Yep.
So he naturally says, hey, did you grow up in Rye? No. Okay. But you're from Rye now. Yeah. So Rye's her community.
Right.
Okay. She's not an alumni of Rye. Very, very rarely is there an alumni of a high school, right? Because the community is there. You don't usually live in the same place that you went to high school, very rarely.
No.
Now, all her kids are in Rye. Okay. Rye is her community. Rye is her school district and all of that nature. High school has communities. Communities are basically built off the backbone of people coming together.
Correct.
Local businesses. And just imagine if that community can come together. One, if you leverage community, you can raise more money for the school. Two, you leverage community, you can build a better community in that same spirit and help raise the financial earnings of the other business in that community.
Absolutely.
If we can hone that in.
You boost business for the local community, local commerce.
It's a win-win-win-win all around. All we need to do is have a structure, some education, and probably a place for this to be facilitated. And I think it's a huge opportunity. Matter of fact, I would love to hear from all the high school kids. You can DM us. You could email us at show@thewinningmoments.com and tell us your opinion. Tell us what you would do, what you would like to see have happen, and what you could use help on. Okay, any student reaches out to us who needs help with their social media, I will donate as much time as I can to you to help you set it up, help give you the roadmap, and get yourself on the right path, at least for success, period. And if you happen to be able to play college sports for it, it's more rewarding for us. And I would love to do that.
Absolutely. I'm going to, so I don't know if some of our viewership may have seen this already. Pat Massaroni was on with Kevin Devaney on his show, and he talked about Pat is at a different place with this. He's years ahead of most of us regarding, not ahead of you, but ahead of coaches regarding NIL and the benefits and how you can use it to benefit the kids and all that.
Oh, he's at the forefront.
Yeah, he's at the forefront.
of it.
I mean,
he should be. Listen, he's at the forefront.
He's right there, and he really has a real grasp of this whole thing. I'm watching local cable. I'm watching, whatever, ESPN, whatever. And I see Josiah Jervis doing the Mariano Rivera Toyota commercial. Have you seen this yet?
I've seen it.
Now, and they talk about Josiah Jervis and Stepanak, mention him, and This is where I come from my car and the whole thing. And I go, my goodness, I don't know what the agreement is. I don't know if the agreement was because he was the MVP of the CHSAA that he got to drive off with that Toyota on the show. I mean, on the commercial, off the lot. I don't know what it is, but I can promise you it was beneficial to Mariano Rivera Toyota.
Yep.
And it was beneficial and profitable for Josiah Jervis and bring Stepanak.
And Stepanak basketball.
And Stepanak basketball and the community and the institution itself.
Yeah.
So I don't know I have no idea what the financial agreement was, compensation, whatever it was, but there you go.
I honestly don't think it matters what the compensation was. I think what you just said is really what's at the heart of the conversation is, hey, I'm doing something good for my community.
Correct.
Okay? I'm getting paid for what I'm doing. Okay? Great. And I represent and help build the school, the brand that has given me this opportunity. He earned the opportunity with his play.
Absolutely.
He earned it with his statue and who he is as a human and as a man.
Absolutely.
Then he got the opportunity to showcase that to the world by playing for Pat and Stepanak basketball, which he then further had to earn it again.
Correct.
Right? We started off this show with the word grind. Grind is about earning.
There's no other way.
Grind. That young man earned it, but he didn't earn it by himself.
No, he didn't.
Stepanak, okay, and Pat earned, okay, the power of all that he has right now and all of his influence and Stepanak basketball because he is a grinder.
Yes, he is.
Okay? You can talk to Pat. What I love about Pat is it's at his showcase. It's in the middle of it all. Okay, he's got so many things going on because he's not just the host of the showcase.
Correct.
He's not just handling alumni. He's not just handling anything that the county center asks him to do. He's also handling being the head coach of a #1 basketball team in the country. Okay,
one of the top teams in the country
in the beginning of the season, number one, the top season. And you could grab Pat at any one of those moments and ask him a question. Hey, Pat, man, how'd you feel about this? And he talks to you as if we're just. Correct. We're outside on a Sunday with nothing going on.
Right.
And he's so approachable in his way. Like, he's earned that through his grind.
But think about this. Think about this. Right before he got on the floor to play Iona Prep and the slam dunk, what was he doing? He was on the phone.
Approachable.
Taking phone calls before they got on the floor.
Right.
So it's 24/7. And people need to understand that. Whether you're a coach or a player, it's 24/7. And for Josiah Jervis, he earned this. He earned that opportunity. Now, listen, he's also been blessed. 6'6", athletic, strong, tough, talented naturally.
Right.
But
smart, good-looking kid.
Exactly, and well-spoken. But there's a lot of kids out there that are 6'6", they're 6'6", athletic, talented. Not everybody is Josiah Jervis because of what? The grind. He's earned being the McDonald's All-American. He's earned the opportunity to go play for Tom Izzo at Michigan State. He's earned a chance to be in a commercial at Mariano Rivera Toyota, and Pat to facilitate that for him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Pat's program
both on and off the court.
100%. His program is one to model.
But
Pat will give you the secrets.
But
I'll tell you what he does.
But let me say this to you: we've got public high school coaches in our area. If they have a kid that is front and center, or 2 or 3 kids that are front and center, like down the road, if there's another Burrell and there's another Plunkett. Do you think that Coach Carver, when this all hits developmentally, the whole process of this, do you not think that they're going to use Burrell and Plunkett differently as far as off the floor goes? Marketing, of course they are, but we just haven't gotten there yet. But it will come, and I'm not putting, I'm not throwing shade on anybody. It'd be the same thing with me if I had Plunkett or Burrell instead of Ty. I wouldn't know what to do right now, but probably 2 years from now, 3 years from now, these 2 kids go where? Okay, let's see what we can do with regard to what pizza place in Mamaroneck.
Yep.
The barbecue place in Mamaroneck everybody goes to. The
Well,
seafood
America's got a lot of great restaurants. So yeah.
But I'm saying, but we're not there yet. But we're going to be there shortly. And I think once our Section 1 coaches and administrators have a player or players or a group or a team that's special that way, market them to benefit your program and to benefit the community and the players.
Listen, I'll give all of you guys the roadmap. I mean, I'll literally give you guys all the stuff that we have here.
I think for you
no
to do this,
whatsoever.
I think, John Lim, for you to do this and to give our people in Section 1 this platform, they should jump on it. They should, our ADs and our coaches should jump on it. And not just football, basketball, but every sport.
Yeah.
Every sport. Scarsdale girls flag football is a dynasty right now. Dynasty.
I love it. I'm so loving it. Yeah.
And so, you know, those young ladies, smart, tough, talented, great personalities. I don't know. I don't know who the girls' football coach is, the flag football coach is over there. But, I mean, market that. They've been the state champs back-to-back years. Probably going to have a chance to go to third. We're going to talk about all that next week.
Yeah,
But there's a team that you can market in the community.
And the community will get behind you.
Absolutely.
They'll get behind
Every
you.
community will get behind their school, particularly in Section 1, because they see the value of it.
Yep. Well, listen, that's we've covered a lot on the show.
We have.
All right, we're out of time at this moment. But having your perspective, plus I love the Bobby Hurley Yellow Pages story. Having your perspective is very helpful, coaching and getting kids into college. And the fact that you've been doing it before there were even like phones.
No, basically, yeah. Yeah, the Thomas Edison, put the one
the
up by
phonograph,
the ear.
the one ear, talking like this.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
Great. I love it. Listen, everybody, thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're really excited about next week and our Sports Center format. Again, uploading your stats to Section 1's website, section1athletics.org. We're very helpful. We get a lot of information from there. Sending it to us directly, the winning moments. You can go to thewinningmoments.com and there's a place for you to upload just your box score, or you can upload highlights, parents, kids, you name it, and we'll be able to get that on here. Please share this podcast with everybody you can. The more followers we get, the more exposure we can give you. That's what our mission is. Like and subscribe. Join us next time on The Winning Moments Show.